Can you tell us about the appropriate glasses to use with different kinds of
Oh,
wines?
I'd be delighted to. The, the difference in the stemware that you use is really very important. Of course, you can drink it out of a jam jar and it's still going to taste delicious. We know that. But specific glasses have been designed to actually channel certain types of wines to a certain place on your palate so that they're most enjoyable. That's very deep, and we could talk about that for an hour, but some wines are sweeter, some wines are more acidic, other wines have lots of tannin, and you really want to direct a certain type of wine to the certain place on your tongue so that it will be the most enjoyable. And that's why these glasses were designed. In addition to creating a very large bowl, as we said before, so that you can spin the wine and have lots of room to coat a lot of surface so that when it evaporates from the surface, all that aroma is concentrated and focused to your nose, which is really where you get most of the flavors. Your tongue can only sense sweet, salt, and bitter and sour. All of those other millions of flavors are really from your sinus, your olfactory gland, through your palate, because of your nose. So what I suggest for champagne is a very thin flute. This keeps the wine concentrated, and so that it won't go flat and the bubbles won't just dissipate to a lot of surface. It also looks really festive, watching the bubbles go up a long, thin glass, watching them
It's beautiful
rise.
in that
It
glass,
really
isn't
is.
it?
Then for Sauvignon Blanc or crisp white wines, I suggest a smaller bowl glass with Chardonnays, Roussanne, Marsanne, and other, like what I would call bigger white wines or more full-bodied white wines. I suggest a glass that has a narrow, tapered bowl, but also is big enough and wide enough to allow you to spin it, again coating the sides of the glass with the liquid so that when it evaporates, the fragrance, the aroma, or the nose of the wine is more concentrated to you. Now, this is just a little step up from this glass. It also has a large bowl, but it's much thinner crystal, also much more expensive, but it is also perfect for white wines. The beauty of these two glasses is, as you can see, they're perfect for white wines or red wines. These are the same two glasses. So you could certainly serve Cabernet Sauvignon, Zinfandel, Merlot, or any big red wine in either of these glasses. Now, when it comes to Pinot Noir, I suggest a wider bowl. As you can see, it's kind of fatter at the bottom and then tapers up. It's not as narrow as the Cabernet Sauvignon glass, and that allows for more surface because Pinot Noir is a more delicate, more finesse wine. It's a real pretty wine. It has a very pretty nose or aroma to it, and because it's more subtle than the strong characteristics of Merlot or Cabernet Sauvignon, you want to have a little more surface area for it to evaporate from to concentrate the aromas to your nose. And that really, very simply, is what it's all about. There's more surface area to the liquid. And then when you spin it in the glass, you have it coating all the sides of the glass and that large surface area. And as it's slowly evaporating from there, it focuses and concentrates all those aromas to your palate. And of course, that's through your nose. It's beautiful. Now, as we said, these are good for Cabernet, Syrah, Merlot, Zinfandel. When it comes to sweet dessert wines, I really suggest either a glass with a long stem or a short stem. Any of these three glasses can certainly work for dessert wine, but if you have a very expensive fine dessert wine like a Sauterne or a German ice wine, I really suggest a fine crystal glass like this because it really is designed specifically for that purpose. It will focus the wine to the proper area of your palate, and it also will concentrate the aromas through the small openings so that when you smell it, you really get everything that that wine was intended to be. These glasses can certainly be used for other dessert wines or port or Madeira or sherry. And I have the same port wine poured into each of these two glasses. Many people think this is too full because they can't spin it, although many other people just like to sip port and they're not as concerned about spinning it and the aromas. Now, if you want to spin it and enjoy the aromas A port wine glass such as this gives you a lot more surface area, allows you to spin it, and I also think it's a little more festive. Having the larger bowl always, to me, seems to give a little more elegance, a little more festivity to a beautiful glass of wine. Of course, you can fill it up to the rim in a small glass like this, and it's going to be delicious. But certainly if you serve it in a very elegant glass like this with lots of bowl space, you really add a lot to the presentation.
Well, Michael, let's move on to a table setting and see where these go on the table.
Sounds good.